Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. I want to welcome all of you guys from New Tech and, of course, all of you here on YouTube for your guys' continued support.
We start things off from the post-millennial. Now, as of this recording, it is Thursday, November the 10th, 2022. Breaking: Arizona election results delayed until after weekend, Maricopa officials say. Voters experienced an issue with Maricopa County's tabulator machines, with one polling worker revealing that around 25% of ballots were being rejected. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know, because you are a follower, a viewer, a subscriber here on the BuzWeaver channel. So you know, here on this channel, we take the difficult, we take the complicated, we take the chaos, we take the tumult, and break it down into very simple language, because the Democrats, the politicians, the media, the establishment uniparty makes it intentionally confusing, intentionally difficult. They never let crisis go to waste, and they just continue on with this absurd, ridiculous. These are individuals who are supposed to be part of the system, part of a functioning system. Now, voting belongs to the people, but you would think that the polling agencies. Now, it's important to note here that Hobbs is currently the incumbent governor of Arizona, and she's actually heading this. Now, you guys may remember here in Georgia when Brian Kemp, our governor, was heading up the elections in 2020, and all of the flack he got from Stacey Abrams. However, there was no flack this election time period during the midterms, because Kemp won handedly. So here we are in a very, very contentious time in our country, where we're looking at governor races throughout the United States. We're still looking at what's going on in Arizona. We're still looking at what's happening in Nevada. We already know here in my state of Georgia that there's going to be a runoff, not with Kemp and Abrams, but there'll be a runoff here with Herschel Walker and Warnock. And Arizona, of course, they already called it here, or too early to call even for their Senate seats. So why is all this happening in Arizona, which is a pivotal point between who will control the House and who will control the Senate? So I find it fascinating that right now we see here from NBC, Decision 2022, they're calling it 221 for the GOP. So they have the majority in the House, which means Nancy Pelosi is out. And the question that I've been asking is, where is Nancy Pelosi and why hasn't she already conceded? What are they waiting for? Well, maybe, I don't know. But if we look over here on the Google polling for the U.S. House, they show 209 to 189, which is still the GOP in a position of gaining 6 seats, yet nothing from Nancy Pelosi. What are they actually waiting for? Why the stall tactics? What are they waiting for? I wonder. See, 46-48 Dems. We're still waiting here. Georgia, of course, as I just mentioned, Raphael Warnock, Herschel Walker. Arizona, still, they got 70 reporting. Nevada, 83 reporting. Still too early to call for those states. Georgia has already gone to a runoff. So what in the world, I ask you guys in just summation, the very groups of people who kept screaming, threat to democracy, what bigger threat to democracy is there when votes can't be counted properly? We have large states, Florida, Texas, California. These are very large states. They were able to get all their counts in. They were able to get everything done. Georgia, I believe, in the United States, has the most counties at 159 in the United States. Now, don't quote me on that. I didn't look it up. But I know here in Georgia, we do have 159 counties. That's a lot of counties. We got 9 million people in the state of Georgia. Florida's huge. Texas is huge. California is huge. Arizona, not so much. But does anyone else find it interesting that the current incumbent governor, Katie Hobbs, who is overlooking the elections, is having this problem? Kari Lake faced off against Democrat Katie Hobbs, who refused to step onto the debate stage and address her opponent. Why didn't she do that? While Blake Masters seeks to unseat incumbent Mark Kelly for an Arizona Senate seat. Interesting how this is all happening in Arizona. The same groups of people, Democrats, who say threat to democracy all the time, and we know here on the BuzWeaver channel, because my viewers here, you guys are shrewd, calculating, competent, alert, aware. Maybe, I don't know how many of you are as sober at times than others. Know that we take the difficult and the complicated and make it simple. You guys know this because you're aware. You're totally aware. From AZ, spokesperson from Maricopa County Elections tell me the majority of ballots won't be done being counted until after the weekend. They initially anticipated 95 to 99% of the ballots being completed by Friday, which is tomorrow as of this recording. And of course, as a release of the video will be on Friday. So if a follow-up is necessary, I will do one. As historic 290,000 ballots were dropped off Election Day, causing the delay. So there you have it. What do we do about ballots? Look, this is what I've been saying. For some reason, I don't know why, I can't explain it, even when I worked in law, I was having to serve jury duty like every 4 years. Every 4 years, I would get a notice to do jury duty. Well, guess what? I can't do jury duty from mail. I can't do jury duty from virtual. I can't do virtual jury duty, right? So when you vote, if it's that important to you, how can you not get out of your home, go to your polling station, which should be within several miles of your home? I know some people live in larger states, Florida, Texas, California. I get it. I understand some people don't live near their polling stations. They live in very rural areas. However, we also know that many people who vote, or Democrats, live in the cities, which is why they target these individuals for mail-in voting. And if you guys haven't already, if you see my short From the View, you can see where an individual from The View, I'm not going to mention any names or anything because that video for some reason was demonetized. It could be because The View claimed it, or the agency that I used it from claimed it. So you can see from my shorts in that video where this individual said she voted for her son. And this is what is the message maybe that they wanted to send out, that if you're a parent with an adult child, encourage them to fill out or register, and then when they get their ballot, encourage them to complete it, and you, the voting harvester, which is authorized in 26 states, will mail it in. So that's the message, right? Think about it. Is it easier to go to an apartment complex in downtown, like here in Atlanta? It's much easier to go to an apartment complex downtown Atlanta with 1 or 2 or 3 canvassers and talk to about 100 people within the complex, with permission, of course, than it is for you to drive 10, 15, 20, 30 miles house to house to house in rural areas, suburbs, or, well, in rural areas and or the suburbs are way out in the country. So it's much easier to galvanize this. Plus, the Democrats have an amazing ground game. Since the early morning hours of Election Day, voters experienced issues with Maricopa County's tabulator machines, with one polling worker revealing that around 25% of ballots were being rejected, as we just said. Ladies and gentlemen, we have midterms every 2 years, and we have presidential elections every 4 years. How hard is it in an age of technology that we live in today, the United States, that takes pride in its advances in technology, why are we having these problems? Since the counting of votes has been trickling in, especially after 290,000 ballots were dropped off Election Day, there has been much speculation as to why there are so many delays, and associations levied at election officials who are blamed for delaying and stalling the process. Well, of course, they're there to count. It's amazing to me. It really is flabbergasting. On Wednesday evening, Maricopa County officials revealed that 70 out of 223 voting locations, or nearly 1 out of every 3, were impacted by printer issues on Election Day. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Look, I have voted in many elections over my lifetime. The process isn't overly complicated. The line is much longer sometimes than the actual voting process. It's astounding to me that with all the technology that we have today, that this is still a problem. It makes 0 sense unless it is run by incompetent people, or there is some intentional interference or delay on purpose. And I'm just, this is just my opinion here now. I'm just speaking from my opinion, that the Democrats are absolutely desperate. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Well, the Democrats and the left might, but the idea here is they know, and we know, that they constantly say threat to democracy. It's an issue for them, and it's a concern for them. And they need to get this situated and straightened out. If something changes by Friday afternoon, I will do a follow-up video. But thank you guys so very much for your continued support. YouTube, now that the elections are over, or midterms are over, seems not to be going after the ads anymore on the video. So I appreciate that. All of you, Rumble, BitChute, DTube, Odyssey, thank you guys for all of your continued support. It is greatly appreciated. And that's what I have for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, where you can see my daily post, as well as the Amazon link if you guys are Prime members or order frequently from Amazon. You guys can use that link, go to the landing page, and search for what you're looking for. And of course, it helps out the channel here in 2022. Thank you for the likes, the shares, for those on New Tech, as well as here on YouTube, and appearing right there on the screen for all of you watching on YouTube. That would be the channel icon. You can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys right there behind that camera next week.